Recently, I was showing my roommate Lord of the Rings for the first time, and she said something along the lines of, I'm waiting for Boromir to start being a good guy. And it dawned on me. I was like, well, he is a good guy. But based on what she had seen, she couldn't come to that conclusion yet.
Sorry.
Though, as a lifelong fan of The Lord of the Rings, I forgot what it was like to be seeing them for the first time. And the longer I thought about it, the more I realized Boromir is one of the most relatable characters of all time. Boromir, son of that asshole Denethor, the steward of Gondor, was flawed, but he did all of the wrong things for the right reasons. At the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring, nobody, and I mean nobody else, had been dealing with the kind of shit that Boromir was. He had already been battling face to face with the orcs of Mordor, taking back the city of Osgiliath from Sauron's occupation, and at this point, he alone of the Fellowship had done the most to fight against the will of Sauron. Before the Fellowship, Boromir was already a legendary warrior and was loved by his people. And when presented with the ring, he wishes to use it for good as a weapon against Mordor. But being a man, he is weak to the ring's deceiving powers, though he cannot understand it. He would take the ring with a desire to do good and save his people, only to fall to the ring's evil power.
It is a gift to the foes of Mordor. Why not use this ring?
Furthermore, before Denethor sent Boromir to Rivendell in the film, he pressures him to claim the ring for Gondor. I believe this is a key reason for the ring taking Boromir, as he had the pressure of his entire country and his father on his shoulders. Though it may seem rather foolhardy, pressure from one such as your father is a heavy burden to bear.
The One Ring. Isildur's Bane.
And it has fallen into the hands of the elves. Everyone will try to claim it. Men, dwarves, wizards. We cannot let that happen. This thing must come to Gondor.
Gondor.
It's dangerous, I know. Ever the ring will seek to corrupt the hearts of lesser men, but you are strong, and our need is great. It is our blood which is being spilled, our people who are dying. Sauron is biding his time. He's massing fresh armies. He will return, and when he does, we will be powerless to stop him. You must go. Bring me back this mighty gift.
No.
After Gandalf the Grey's passing, Boromir lacks the foresight to see much hope for their quest, and rightfully so, as only pain and loss had they suffered.
Give them a moment, for pity's sake.
By nightfall, these hills will be swarming with orcs. We must reach the woods of Lothlorien. Come, Boromir, Legolas.
His weakness overcomes him, and he tries to take the ring from Frodo, as his emotions were able to dominate his actions, making him even more susceptible to the ring. And I think we can all think of a time in our lives when we let our emotions take the reins, and we say or do something that we would eventually come to regret.
What have I done? Please, Frodo. Frodo, I'm sorry.
But when it mattered most, Boromir shows his quality, and he sacrifices himself for Merry and Pippin, slaying over 20 orcs by himself in the process. He gave his last breath for the sake of 2 little halflings. It symbolizes how men work and his core values. He is flawed, but he always does what his heart tells him is best, for better or worse. Boromir made a grave mistake, but in the end, it was how he responded to the problem that made all the difference. I feel I can relate to Boromir quite a lot. He is good-hearted and has the will to make things right, though he can get lost in his emotions and slip up.
It is long since we had any hope.
But he always wanted the very best for those he loved, and that is what drove him. It is easy to work yourself up over things you can't control. Boromir could not control the power of the ring, and it drove him mad. He wanted the power only for good, but it was out of his control, and he let the worry consume him. It is a lesson to learn to let go of things you cannot control or fix.
My father is a noble man, but his rule is failing. And our people lose faith. He looks to me to make things right, and I would do it. I would see the glory of Gondor restored.
Boromir carried the weight of his people, his house, and the world of men on his shoulders, and he nearly broke under the pressure. And that's how life feels sometimes, like you're being crushed with responsibility and worry, but it's how you respond to those problems that mean the most in the end. Life isn't about being perfect and never making mistakes. It's about how you respond and learn from said mistakes that make you a better person. Boromir is a prime example of what it means to be human, and we can all take a lesson or two from him.
Peace, son of Gondor. They will look for his coming from the White Tower, but he will not return.